Welcome to Ipswich Living. I'm your host, Amelia DeVita. Today we're going to have a look at Division 8 of Ipswich to get an understanding of the fascinating suburbs of Churchill, Deebing Heights, Flinders View, Ipswich, Leichhardt, 1 Mile, Raceview, Ripley and Yamanto. In tonight's episode, we'll be delving into some of the highlights of Division 8, including the newly dubbed Airplane Park, the George Adler Tennis Centre, the Business Enterprise Centre, and lastly, the Leichhardt Community Centre. But before we get into those stories, let's have a little look at what is Division 8.
Division 8 has something to suit everyone: sports, parks, churches, heritage, schools and so much more. This area in Ipswich includes Leichhardt, 1 Mile, Churchill, Raceview, Yamanto and Flinders View. Some of the highlights of this unique division include the George Adler Tennis Courts, the Ipswich Region's Business Enterprise Centre, many historic old Queenslanders and some newly done up parks. At the last census, Division 8 had a population of 13,105, which represented 9.42% of the total Ipswich population. In conjunction with the population, it came out that the average age of its residents was 31 years, with an average household size of 2.8 people. Today, Division 8 is growing rapidly, with many new developments in place such as the Urban Renewal Project and the Ripley Valley Master Plan. This division is growing so much that the boundaries are going to be needed to be changed before the election in 2012.
Ipswich has been so busy lately and there are so many new attractions and older attractions being done up. One of these old favourite attractions, Lobley Park, has recently been dubbed Airplane Park because of its new makeover. We spoke to Councillor Charlie Pasali about it earlier this week.
Welcome to Lobley Park, located Division 8. It's a very prominent area, but it's one of the main entry points to our beautiful city of Ipswich. What we had here was we had a beautiful playground, but the problem was it got old. It was looking very tired, and located off Warwick Road near the car park. So the problem with that was we had to get around to replacing it for safety reasons. So rather than invest all that extra dollars, we thought we'd go out to the community and ask them what they would like to see in the park, which was very constructive. We asked the school over here, local residents. We had quite a few meetings on Saturday mornings and also during the week, just getting the feedback what they would like to see in this park, which, as I mentioned before, it's such a prominent area. It's one of the key gateways to the city. The feedback was fantastic, and one of the first things that came up was the fact that they really wanted to see the playground up in a high area where it was more visible, and obviously for safety reasons. So, and that's really paid off. What we see here today is stages 1 and 2, because there is quite a few stages to the whole development, and obviously quite a few stages and dollars. So, but we're getting there. But we have funded stages 1 and 2, which you can see the benefits of today, and obviously this playground is the key component of it. The local children have already called it from day one the Aeroplane Park, so that name is actually stuck, and so apart from Lobley Park, it's also adopted the Aeroplane Park theme. The theme is actually based on obviously utilising our RAF-based assembly, which is very important to our city. We recognise and value both the people out there and what the benefit to our city. So we thought it'd be a great way to develop that theme in promoting RAF-based assembly and having a plane theme here. And here you see me standing inside a C-17 makeshift, and the kids absolutely love it. And behind me is also the makeshift control tower. The other features of this particular area, the lighting, you really need to appreciate this park at night time as well, because there's quite a few landing lights displayed in some of the walkways. So there's quite a few features you can appreciate here both in the daytime and night time. The magic part of the whole thing is the response from the community. They've just adopted the park, and you virtually have to, I won't say kill, but to get a spot here, you've got to get here pretty early. It's not only weekends, also during the week is very, very busy, and night times, as I just touched on before. The community absolutely love it, and it's so positive. So it's been dollars very well invested, and obviously I'll be looking forward to developing the other stages of the park, and just building on the stages. The rest of the themes with the whole area incorporates an amphitheatre, because it's just over beyond the playground area. You've got a natural, the landscape is conducive for a natural amphitheatre, so that'll be incorporated, followed by also like a memorial space where people could have solemn ceremonies and what have you. So we're trying to incorporate all those factors within the final picture, if you like. So I'm certainly looking forward to all that. But with all this, it all takes money and patience, but at least we have the master plan, which is totally critical, and we can just build on what we've created.
Welcome back to Ipswich Living. Ipswich is full of great sportsmen and women, and there are many facilities throughout the region that are available for practice and games. The newly revamped George Adler Tennis Centre is just one such facility that gives locals a place to train, play, and is used for both local and international tournaments.
We're at the George Adler Tennis Centre. It's been around for about 50 years. The name George Adler was for a prominent businessman in the 50s, and his wife Pam Adler absolutely loved tennis, and he made quite a few donations and contributions to the tennis club around that period, hence the name George Adler Tennis Centre. There's a big debate in Tennis Australia, the need for more clay courts. A lot of Europeans are brought up on clay, and hence they're bringing a lot of top players on the world scene. And where they said, let's put some in Ipswich, and already it's starting to pay off with some young juniors getting up there in the ranks.
The clay is like really good. Yeah, because at where we live at Sunshine Coast, there's just hard courts, and this clay is really good. It's one of the best in Australia, so it's really good to be able to come down here and train.
Yeah, about just over 2 years ago. There was currently some old courts here. The centre was very run down. I think they injected about $7 million into the place, and that's when they installed the unique clay court surface. The club rooms were redeveloped, and it's a world-class centre right now. I guess just the need for more clay courts. There's not enough around Australia, and clay courts do help juniors improve their game. Their ground strokes are stronger, they're fitter, they play smarter tennis, tactical tennis, and the demand from Tennis Australia for more clay is what we need to get more juniors up there and hopefully someone in the world stage. We've just had a huge schedule. We've had a Pro Tour event. A lot of those guys are ranked anywhere between 100 to 200 in the world. And then we had the 16s, 14s, 12 nationals, all in one hit, and then 2 ITF events. And in the ITF events, those players are playing for world junior ranking points. So a lot of people from Sydney and Melbourne, New Zealand, America. So really good to have the best players in the country in Ipswich at the time. Oh, we've had Pat Cash has come by. He's an ambassador for the Gallipoli Youth Cup, which is an ITF event we recently had. And Pat Cash has also come, Pat Rafter has come for a promotional shoot. So it's good to have those guys there, and they've got the experience and they can pass that on to the younger people. Certainly more events, like the Nationals and things like that, and not just events, but also promoting a good local community tennis club that all of Ipswich can enjoy this beautiful tennis centre we have here.
If you're interested in playing or just want more information, contact Dan Swords on 3281 4700. That number again is 3281 4700. The Ipswich community not only play hard, they also work hard. The Business Enterprise Centre on Turley Street in Ipswich is a place where the Ipswich City Council can help small businesses thrive without putting a hole in their pockets.
The Business Enterprise Centre, there are 137 BECs around Australia. They're all not-for-profit organisations and they're community-based. Primarily, the main objective is to help small businesses, either home-based business or smaller businesses, to grow and develop, giving them free mentor advice or low-cost mentoring advice. We also give them workshops on how to develop their businesses and grow their businesses. We also have business incubation spaces, such as the premises we're standing on now. We've been here for over 20 years. The idea behind the BECs was to grow all the small businesses. There's been no support for small business through our micro enterprise businesses in Australia for a long time, and it was identified that if we grow these small businesses into larger businesses, such as you'll see A&D Mechanical, who started off as a mobile service working from home to grow into a larger business. And and we've also got other businesses here as auto electricians that have been home-based. Now they're growing and developing those businesses. So the primary objective is to grow these businesses so they're sustainable, so they last, and they can actually start employing people. The support they get is they get low-cost mentoring or free business advice. They also get, on top of that, networking functions, business expos where they can go out and publish, go to other businesses in other districts and grow their businesses. We also have a referral system where we can actually refer these businesses to other businesses within the community. We hope these businesses, or we anticipate these businesses to grow so they actually employ local people and engage those local people into either apprenticeships or traineeships. We've done this successfully with these businesses on this site. Well, if we look around the centre, there was about 2 metres above or about 1.5 metres above my head is where the floods came through. Every business in here, we had about 2.5 hour warning before the floods would actually hit and impact this site. Every business that was affected, we were able to get Tier 1 grant applications for them once the water had receded. But in effect, every business here has been affected on a grand scale. The BEC received, immediately the water receded, we came down and started helping them clean out, but also identifying getting Tier 1 flood grant application of $5,000 to these guys as soon as possible. And we workshopped with those people and also gave them access business mentoring to help them fill out the applications. These applications would normally take about 15 minutes, but on average we've had to work about 1.5 hours, 2 hours with each of these clients. Then they qualify for Tier 2 grant, which is $20,000, which we can work through that process, and some of these businesses are now going through Tier 2. Some don't qualify for Tier 2, but we'll give them ongoing support to grow their businesses. The Business Enterprise Centre also, in good faith, waived at least 3 months' rent to these businesses so they can actually get back up on their feet without paying any rent.
We are a small car commercial mechanic shop. We do all sorts of repairs, maintenance, and anything you can bring a car in that's got a problem, we'll fix it. We had about 8 foot of water go through the entire workshop. Pretty much every tool, machine, and a few customer cars and property have been damaged. We've had to replace it all.
It repairs all the electrical circuits on cars. It basically starts from the battery, starter motor, alternator. We were out of action for a couple of weeks. Basically, I couldn't get to the workshop for 4 days. My daughter came down with a couple of friends after she watched it go under and then walked into the workshop and then found mud up to armpits just about.
The centre at the moment is we're looking at a major refurbishment. Obviously there's a couple of areas here that still haven't bounced back, and our offices are one area. We're looking at putting in a grant application at the moment to get some further funding to upgrade the site, and also upgrade the facilities for training for all the local businesses.
Here's an interesting fact about Division 8. Division 8 is home to Manson Park, which until 1947 was where 1,324 Americans who died in the Australia and New Guinea were buried during World War II. The name Manson Park comes from the family, the Mansons, that looked after the grounds for many years for no charge. Here are some exciting events coming up in the Ipswich area for you to be a part of. The public steam train rides will take you for a ride into the past on a vintage steam train on the 5th of June. The train will be departing Swanbank Station at 10 a.m, 11:30 a.m, and 1 p.m, and departing Bundamba Racecourse Station at 10:40 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. Bookings are not required, and for more information visit qpsr.net. The Legends of Las Vegas on the 11th of June from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. feature veteran performer Izzy Dye, and she'll join with Queensland award-winning cabaret artist Susie J to bring this wonderful show to the Ipswich Civic Centre. It'll cost $13, and for more information visit ipswichciviccentre.com.au. Motherhood the Musical is the joyous journey and loving look at the blessings and perils of being a mum. It's climbing the emotional mountain only to find that there's laundry at the top. It's about laughing and crying, craziness and calm, smiles and tears, and all before breakfast. This hilarious musical is being shown at the Ipswich Civic Centre on the 15th of June at 7:30 p.m, and tickets start at $39. For more information visit ipswichciviccentre.com.au. And come and experience the thrills and excitement of round 5 of the Australian Superbikes Championships as they speed around Queensland Raceway, Friday the 3rd to Sunday the 5th of June at Queensland Raceway at Willowbank. For more information visit queenslandraceway.com.au. Find out what it's really taking to build a train at Build It. Since 1865, the North Ipswich Railway Workshops have been the workplace of thousands of skilled tradesmen who have built and maintained the locomotives, wagons, carriages and machinery needed to create and run the train in Queensland. From the 18th of June to the 17th of July, the Workshops Railway Museum will be encouraging all ages to get in and enjoy the big, loud, fun hands-on activities and walk in the footsteps of past workers to explore the many different trades used on site and discover what working in a railway workshop is really like. For more information, visit the workshops.qm.qld.gov.au. The Leichhardt Community Centre is the heart and soul of Leichhardt, a place that's always buzzing with activity and people, from childcare to dance classes and craft clubs. There's so much to see and do at this wonderful community centre.
The centre started in Samford Road at Leichhardt back in about 83, 84, and in 2003 this was constructed up and was officially opened in July of 2003, the centre here in Denman Street. To get more room, there it was just a little house with a little childcare centre at the back, and the room, it was just totally cramped, and the need was there for a bigger building, and that was provided. The money comes through community renewal. In the early stages, there was a lot of Housing Commission and RAF families in the area, and with RAF families in particular, they were just transferred here, they knew no one, and it was set up more or less to meet a need for social activities between families like that. The groups now, there are many that use it, like craft groups, sewing groups, dancing people, We've got yoga, Samba, and other social groups that come. There's a church uses it every Sunday. There's a boot camp likely use it 3 days a week. And of course, then too, we have our own little 21-place childcare centre, which is full. We received a grant every year from the state government to cover some of the costs of our community development worker and our administrative assistant. Apart from that, to meet all other costs, we have to fundraise or rent the building out. There is no support from very little support from individual people. We go looking for it through the development funds and those sort of places. Council help us, and we can get grants through them. And that's the sort of fundraising we've got to do. Volunteers, we a couple of years ago went through and did an estimation of the volunteers' support. We claim that we would save the government in money around about $150,000 a year through volunteer support. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't function. There are people here that spend here pretty well all day. You've got an example of the lady in the kitchen at the moment. She spends at least 4 days a week here. There are others that spend 5 days. One gentleman opens up every morning and is here. He's out today on a bus trip. They take the bus out, the 12 people have taken out today on a bus trip. And there are a number of people, I suppose anything up to 10 or a dozen, that are very faithful in their support. But the thing is, they're all getting older. We need new blood. The future, a lot depends on the government funding, continued government funding, and also the need for younger people to take up the challenge of volunteering so that they follow on when some of us step down. And some of us are getting older, and the time comes for that to happen.
If you are interested in volunteering, you can contact Phil Ormsby on 3812 1270. That number again is 3812 1270. Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Hope to see you next week as we have a look into the highlights of Division 9 and continue to look at everything that Ipswich has to offer. I'm your host, Amelia DeVita. Goodbye.